Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliott Carson, Christopher Conley as Norman Harrington.
During the weeks of Rodney Harrington's trial, the people of Peyton Place have talked about his case from every possible point of view. But today, there is little inclination to talk. The trial is over. A verdict has been reached. And the only words left are the words that verdict contains. The words that will determine the future of Rodney Harrington.
Think of next summer. Sailing, beach parties, anything. I can't. Try. It's the only way to get through this. Every time I think of a boat, I see the judge at the tiller.
Superior Court of Peyton County is now in session. Be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, I understand you've reached a verdict. Would the foreman please hand the verdict to the bailiff so that I may see it? Will the defendant please rise? Mr. Foreman, will you please read the verdict?
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, hereby find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree of one Joseph Chernak, in violation of Section 189 of the Penal Code, as set forth in the complaint.
Rodney Harrington, you have been found guilty of second-degree murder. I've heard your attorney's argument for continuance of bail. Once a verdict has been reached, bail is a matter of the court's discretion. You are hereby remanded to custody, and you will be taken to the Peyton County Jail, where you will remain until you are called to appear for sentencing, 5 days from today. Court is adjourned.
So, you can see him in a little while, Mr. Harrington. I'll be there, Rod.
I think you'd better let me by. You tell me, where to now? Your brother's grave? All right. Let's get it over with. You're gonna tell him you won? You think he's gonna rise up and thank you? You listen. All your lying couldn't make your brother over. You couldn't make a dead hoodlum into a hero.
Betty, wait.
She lied. She lied and she lied until she had a rope around Rod's neck. I'm gonna hurt her, Doctor. I'm gonna hurt her in some terrible way, the way she hurt Rod.
Betty, it won't help. It won't help you. It won't help Rodney.
What will help? What will?
Get me out of here.
It would only take a moment of your time. I know how he must be feeling.
Your son will keep Mrs. God.
Stephen, I'm sorry. You did a good job.
Not good enough.
You did your best, Stephen. No one can ask for more than that. I'm proud of you.
Whatever you may have said, I hope he understands you didn't speak for me.
I spoke for myself, Mr. Peyton. I have that right.
Hello, John. Can you answer a few questions?
I have a press conference scheduled for this afternoon, Elliott. Couldn't wait.
Say a few direct words at Peyton Place.
All right, shoot.
What do you think the sentence is going to be?
I make it a practice not to anticipate the court's decision in that area.
See, do you anticipate a retrial?
You mean, do I think the Harringtons will make a motion for a new trial?
I mean, do you think their motion will be granted?
Well, it's hard to tell offhand. I don't see any grounds. This trial was perfect, technically.
Perfect, technically. Can I quote you on that?
All I meant was there were no procedural irregularities.
Say their motion is granted. Will you be prosecuting again?
Well, that depends. Our calendars are laid out pretty far in advance, but I suppose if necessary...
You could work it in.
Look, Elliott, I appreciate the fact that a public servant needs a conscientious critic, a sort of a gadfly, to examine him and his work. But you're so personally involved in this case now, your criticism has no meaning. I hope you're aware of that when you write your account of this trial.
But you did your job the way you had to do it. I'll do the same.
I've tried dozens of cases, Elliott. My father tried hundreds. It's about time you got it out of your head that there's some mystic connection between your case and Rodney's.
Except the obvious one of a miscarriage of justice.
Let's lay it on the line. You've got it in for me because my father was the district attorney who convicted you, and because my wife happened to be the driver of the car that hit your daughter.
Yes, and ran away from the accident. Ran away and left her to die.
You want your pound of flesh.
Not from her. She was just a frightened woman.
You want it from me.
You knew, Fowler.
I told you I didn't.
I don't believe you.
Why don't you put that in print? Why don't you turn into a crusading editor? How about a campaign to get rid of John Fowler, the district attorney who covered up for his wife? Go ahead, print it. and let me sue you for libel. No, you're not that sure, are you?
Because you know I couldn't prove anything.
But that doesn't stop you from convicting me in your own mind. Oh, you're quite a guy, Carson. You'd think someone who spent 18 years in prison because this town thought he was guilty would give someone else the benefit of the doubt. You'll never make a good newspaper man. You're too hot-headed. You're not objective enough. You'll step over the line someday. You'll step right over the edge.
They're gonna put my brother in prison. In prison. I said it could happen. But I didn't really believe it, did you? It was like when I was a kid. I was so scared I'd fail the test. I was so sure I kept saying that I blew it. I kept saying it over and over like it was some kind of magic to keep it from really happening.
Well, won't they? Whatever it is, you know.
Appeal?
Yeah.
I guess so. We're just kidding ourselves again. Looking for a happy ending. You and I got married. Time to be happy. We were in love. We made it. So nothing could go wrong. You, me, and Rod. Everything had to turn out okay. Only it didn't. We were just playing a game, Rita. Just a game. Life in a fairy tale. When you kill the dragon, the trouble isn't over, it's just beginning.
Maybe. I just can't help thinking that somehow, you know, some way Rod's gonna get out of it. It may take time, but he'll get out of it. You have to have hope, no? You can't live without it.
What do you see, Rita? Huh? Fearless Norman riding to his brother's rescue on a charging horse. A daring midnight raid on the county jail. And then we ride off in the sunset. It's just... I can't believe it. It's the kind of thing that you read about. That happens to other people. But it's happened to us.